Hi fairies, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Fifi. It's so nice to have you here. I hope you stay a while. Today we are going to be talking about 6 books that are to be released next year, 2026, that I am personally really excited to get to. I've been seeing a lot of people post videos about 2026 releases, and to be honest, I'm not excited for most of them. Okay, these are the only 6 that I truly am looking out for. I'm very interested in all these books and highly anticipating most of them. So let's just get right into it. We have Weaving Shaw by Heba Awasiti, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, but this is expected to be released on the 24th of February 2026, and I am really excited because I do have this book. I'm just trying to wait a little bit so I can read it closer to the release date, but I'm just itching to get to it, honestly. But basically, this is a gothic fantasy, a debut by this author, which is insane because I have already heard amazing things about it. It is apparently the first book in an enthralling fantasy romance trilogy. A young woman who can see the dead strikes a deal with a magnetic and dangerous purveyor of dark secrets to save her brother's life. 3 years ago, Lena Osaya awoke with a terrible power. She can see the dead. Okay, since then, she has hidden herself from the world, knowing that if she ever reveals her curse, she will be locked away in an asylum. When her beloved brother Rami falls fatally ill, Lena is faced with a terrible let him die or buy the expensive medicine that will save his life by battering the only valuable thing she has, her secrets. That was a mouthful, can't lie. The Saint of Silence, a ruthless merchant who trades in confessions and is shrouded in unearthly rumors of cruelty and power, accepts her bargain for a deadly price. Lena must find the ghost of Percival Avon, the last lord of Ravenshaw, or lose her freedom to the Saint forever. As Lena's search takes her and the Saint to Ravenshaw, she finds the estate and surrounding moors to be living things, hungry for blood and sacrifice. Fighting against Ravenshaw's might, Lena must also fight her growing pull towards the enigmatic saint himself, whose connection to Percival Avon remains a mystery. As the house begins to entomb them, time is running out on their desperate hunt for answers. For Lena has come to see that here in Ravenshaw, the dead are not hushed, and some secrets are better left buried with them. So, I'm so intrigued, okay? I haven't really read much that would be considered gothic fantasy or gothic in general, but from what I've heard, literally scrolling down on Goodreads, almost every review of the arc so far are 5-star reviews and ratings. So yeah, I'm very excited to get to this. I'm excited to, discover a new author as well. And yeah, the next book we have is actually a sequel that was supposed to be released this year, but got pushed back, unfortunately, for some reason. We have Light Wielder by Rachel Schneider. This is the second book in the Fire and Metal duology. The first book was Metal Slinger. I'm not going to lie, on hindsight, I didn't like that book as much as I claimed to, or as much as I thought that I did. I think I was just really caught off guard by the twist and felt that that made the book better than it actually was. The twist itself is what people use as a tagline for this book. It's what people use to drag and draw more people into reading this book. They're like, oh, the twist is amazing, it's incredible, you're going to be caught off guard. And it definitely was. But in hindsight, the twist was simply just that. Okay, there was no foreshadowing, there was no actual reasoning for the twist. If you think back, it just was kind of placed there for the shock value and for people to hype up this book, I guess. It just did not make a lot of sense. And in hindsight as well, as I have read even more books after this book, the writing of this book was not that good, the first book that is. But I do have really high hopes for the second one, especially considering it has taken so much time to put it out. I just really hope that we will get a reasonable explanation for that twist and the ending in general. And I hope that the writing is improved upon in this book and we get a good book. I honestly am just hoping for a good book. I'm not even hoping for anything spectacular. I'm just really interested in seeing what this author does with this world and these characters and this scenario that we have been put into. So next we have a bit of an outlier. I see that because I don't really care too much for romance books, especially contemporary romance books. If you watch any of my videos, I feel like I see this in every single video. But we have No Matter What by Cara Bastone. This is expected to be released on the 3rd of March 2026, and it's so interesting because I haven't read any Cara Bastone books. There's no actual reason for me to want to read this book. I just really really liked the cover and the description. The premise was intriguing to me. It's apparently following a couple whose marriage is threatened after a traumatic accident. So they basically just work to find their way back to each other. But the way that this book explains it, it seems like it's going to be so much deeper than it feels on the surface. I also really think I like the trope where you have married people kind of, falling apart and trying to piece themselves back together again. So yeah, I'm just interested because I've heard great things about Cara Stone's writing, and I just have not high hopes because I don't really have high hopes in any contemporary romance book, but I'm hoping that it can at least deliver what it says it's going to deliver and more a little bit. The next book we have Burn of the Everflame by Penco. This is the fourth book in the Kindred's Curse saga. I have read the first two books. I am planning on reading the third book sometime soon. I just have been putting it off because why is that book 1,000 pages long? I feel like there's no need for that, but at the same time, there is. I am hoping that the third book will kind of exonerate her and then we'll get something even more beautiful with the fourth book. Can't lie, I don't really know that this book is coming out in 2026. We are just hoping, okay? All the fans of this series are hoping and praying that it finally comes out because it was supposed to come out this year. We didn't get a date and then it got pushed again to next year. We still don't have a date, but we're crossing our fingers and just hoping that it would finally come out because I was supposed to read the third book this year in anticipation for the fourth book, and I did feel the need to get to it because the book didn't end up coming out. This whole series basically follows Diem and Luther. Diem is a healer who comes to find out that she may be something more. Okay, I'm trying not to spoil. And Luther is the prince of this kingdom, and in this kingdom they are descended or descendants and the regular people, and I'm sure you know how that goes. It's absolutely a romantasy and it's definitely slow burn as hell, which I really really love. In the first book we got like a kiss. The second book I'm pretty sure we didn't get anything at all, like just subtle touches and grazes and them forming a more emotional connection. I'm hoping that we get a little bit more in the third book, and then the fourth book we have them in love. And I don't know, I just really, really like these characters and connected to them so much, even though, like I said, the FMC is pretty annoying. I have so much love for them and their story and their journey. And yeah, I'm just excited. Next, we have The Midnight Show by Lee Kelly and Jennifer Thorne. These two authors are authors that I never had heard of until very recently. Okay, literally last week or last 2 weeks, I'm not too sure. I read a book by these two authors, okay, called My Fair Frauds. It's a historical fiction basically set in the 1800s, I believe, and it's following these two con artists who basically try to con the upper crust of New York in this time. I absolutely ate that book up. I loved it so much. I thought the writing was so incredible. I thought the characters were incredible as well. It was an audiobook arc that NetGalley fortunately granted me, and I did give it 5 stars. So I definitely was like, oh, I need to see if these authors are cooking up anything else. And they are in fact coming out with two more books. This one is the only one that has been announced right now. And I'm not sure about it, I can't lie. It's basically an immersive page-turning novel about surviving as a funny woman in the male-dominated world of comedy and what happens when the most promising female star of her generation disappears. So we just follow this comedian called Lillian, and we start from where she is an aspiring comedian to when she blows up into full-on stardom. We'll just get her entire life story, I'm assuming, her friendships, her romantic interests, all the things that came with the fame that she acquired, and I'm just very intrigued by it. It doesn't seem like the most intriguing thing necessarily, but I'm interested in seeing how these authors tackle this premise. It's giving a lot of books that I have read and heard about. It's giving kind of Daisy Jones and the Six. It's giving kind of Evelyn Hugo. It's giving kind of the favorites. I haven't read that book, but yeah, I am going to try my very best to get the arc of this book because I really, really want to read it beforehand. But yeah, I'm excited. Finally, we have Tempest by Victoria Aviad. This is another book that hasn't really been announced. I mean, it has been announced, but we haven't gotten a release date or even a cover. But I am very excited for it because the way she was speaking and talking about this book, I feel like it's going to be so freaking good. And I'm a huge Victoria Aviad fan. I just love her as a person, as a public figure, especially on Instagram. I follow her and I like her posts a lot. I haven't read too many of her books. I've read the first two novellas in the Red Queen series and then the first book, which is Red Queen. I didn't love all those. I think I gave Red Queen 3.5 stars. It just felt a little too juvenile and predictable and tropey, which makes sense because it was released like over 10 years ago, but it just didn't feel my cup. Okay, I am going to try and finish the series next year before this one comes out, hopefully. We don't have much when it comes to the actual premise of this book, but apparently it is inspired by the golden age of piracy. It follows a former noblewoman facing execution for treason unless she helps the ruling empire capture their most wanted enemy, the last great pirate captain, and the only man she has ever loved. That's literally all we have. Okay, she's going to try and capture a man that she was formerly, probably still currently in love with, for the empire, or else she will be executed. Like, the stakes are definitely really high. And from what I've seen and heard from Victoria about this book, it's very, very immersive, evocative, very pirate vibes. And honestly, I've kind of been seeking that. I've been looking for things surrounding that kind of pirates, sea, mermaid, siren, those type of vibes and books. So if you do have recommendations, let me know down below. But yeah, that is in fact my little list for 2026 releases that I personally am really excited and interested in. Let me know what new releases you are looking out for in the year 2026. Just talk to me down below. I love reading and replying comments. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram if you want to be book besties or just besties in general. I really love and appreciate that. But for now, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.